7 exercises used by the Navy SEALs to stay a powerhouse of strength even after 60. Most men spend years in the gym following programs, using machines, isolating muscle by muscle. That is truly great for health and aesthetics, but terrible for situations where life demands real strength. Carrying something heavy in an uncomfortable position, reacting quickly to a fall, getting out of a tough situation using your own body. These are the moments when traditional training shows its gaps. Of course, you are not a soldier who needs to always be ready for combat, but you do not need to be on a battlefield to need a functional body. Unexpected situations happen to anyone, at any time, and having a body prepared to respond to them can, literally, save your life. That is why today, you will see 7 exercises used by the Navy SEALs to keep being a functional powerhouse even after 50 or 60. None of these movements isolate a muscle on a machine. All of them train the body as a system, because that is exactly how real life works. Before we begin, please tell us in the comments your name and the city you are watching our content from. We would love to know. Exercise number 8, rucking. If there is one exercise that defines military conditioning, it is this one. Rucking, as it is known in the armed forces, is simply walking with a weighted backpack on your back. It sounds simple because it is simple, and that is exactly why it has worked for centuries. The benefits for men over 60 are remarkable. It strengthens the complete posterior chain, which includes the lower back, glutes, and hamstrings, improves posture that tends to deteriorate with age, burns calories in a sustained way, and trains the cardiovascular system without the impact of running. For those with sensitive knees or hips, that last part is not a detail, it is everything. Military performance studies indicate that regular rucking significantly improves bone density, a critical factor for men over 50 who are at risk of osteoporosis. The primary muscles worked are the glutes, hamstrings, spinal erectors, and core, which needs to stay active throughout the entire walk to prevent the spine from caving backward under the weight of the backpack. To perform it correctly, place the weight in the backpack so that it sits close to your back and is positioned between the shoulders and the middle of the back, never at the bottom of the pack. Stand tall, with your chest open and your chin parallel to the ground. Maintain a comfortable and consistent walking pace. Try not to lean excessively forward, which overloads the lower back. Start with 11 to 18 pounds of weight and 15 minutes of duration, gradually progressing to 30 minutes and then to 22 to 26 pounds as adaptation occurs. The main mistake people make is adding too much weight right from the start, which compromises posture and increases the risk of injury to the hip and lower back. Another common mistake is using an inadequate backpack without back support, which distributes the weight unevenly. Start with 3 to 4 weekly sessions of 15 minutes. As for contraindications, people with an active herniated disc or acute lower back pain should consult a doctor before starting. Serious knee problems that already cause pain during normal walking also require evaluation before adding load. Exercise number 7, Superman. This exercise seems too simple to work until you try it. And when you try it, you will realize that the posterior chain of your body is far more dormant than you imagined. Think of it this way. You spend the day sitting, with your back hunched and your glutes inactive. The Superman is the direct antidote to all of that. Lying face down, you simultaneously lift your arms and legs off the ground, activating the entire posterior chain at once. The primary targets are the lower back, glutes, hamstrings, and the muscles of the upper back, especially the lower trapezius and rhomboids. The military uses variations of this movement to prepare soldiers to carry a heavy backpack without destroying their spine. It is a pure muscle recruitment exercise, with no equipment and no excuse not to do it. To perform it correctly, lie face down on a firm surface with your arms extended above your head. Inhale and, as you exhale, simultaneously lift your arms, chest, and legs off the ground, as if you were a superhero flying. Hold the contraction for 2 to 3 seconds at the top, feeling the squeeze in your glutes and lower back. Come down slowly, controlling the eccentric phase. That control on the way down is where much of the benefit happens. Start with 3 sets of 10 repetitions. As the body adapts, progress to 3 sets of 15 repetitions, adding a 3-second pause at the top of each repetition. The time under tension will make all the difference in your results. The most common mistakes are holding your breath during the movement, dropping the body quickly without controlled descent, and trying to go too high, forcing the neck backward. The movement should be smooth and controlled, not explosive. Another frequent error is not contracting the glutes at the top, which is precisely where the exercise should be most intense. Contraindications. People with an acute lumbar herniated disc should avoid this movement or substitute it with a supervised partial extension. Anyone who feels acute lower back pain when performing hyperextension should stop and consult a physical therapist. Exercise number 6. Farmer's carry. Considered by many functional movement specialists to be the most important exercise for men over 50. The premise is brutally simple. You pick up a weight in each hand and walk from one point to another. It is exactly what you do when you carry grocery bags, travel luggage, or water jugs. Only now, you are doing it with intention and progression. What makes this exercise particularly valuable is that it trains the body as a complete and integrated system. Grip and forearms working to hold the weight, core activated to prevent the spine from shifting sideways, shoulders stabilizing the load, hips and glutes driving the movement, all at the same time. Studies on balance in older adults show that grip strength is one of the best predictors of longevity and independence. Men with stronger grip have a lower risk of falls, lower cardiovascular mortality, and better quality of life. To perform it correctly, hold dumbbells or kettlebells in each hand with your arms extended at your sides. Stand completely tall with your chest open, your shoulders back and down, and your core slightly braced. Then walk in a slow and controlled manner, as if you were carrying something truly important. Do not let your shoulders rise toward your ears. Do not sway your body from side to side. The ideal is that someone who did not see you holding the weights would not be able to tell you were exercising. Do 3 to 4 sets of 20 to 30 seconds of walking with 60 seconds of rest between sets. Progress by increasing the time to 40 to 50 seconds before increasing the load. The main mistakes to avoid are rounding the spine during the walk, letting the shoulders rise with the weight, and trying to use too heavy a load before mastering posture. Before we continue, do not forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell. Having constant access to science-based information is what will make you progress with health over the long term in the world of exercise. Exercise number 5, burpee. If there is one exercise the military uses to test the real limit of a soldier, it is the burpee. It isolates nothing. It demands everything at the same time. In a single continuous movement, you go down to the ground, do a push-up, jump your feet toward your hands, stand up, and jump with your arms above your head. Strength, explosiveness, coordination, and cardiovascular conditioning in a single exercise. It is the physical equivalent of a crisis meeting. Everyone needs to show up. For men over 60, the burpee works as a full-body thermometer. It reveals weaknesses, awakens forgotten muscles, and trains the ability to move your own body weight efficiently, a skill that begins to deteriorate rapidly with a sedentary lifestyle. The muscles worked include the chest, triceps, and shoulders in the push-up phase, the core and glutes in the transition, the quadriceps and hamstrings on the way up, and the cardiovascular system as a whole in the explosive jump. To perform it correctly, start standing, bring your hands to the ground, jump your feet back to the push-up position, do the push-up with control, jump your feet back near your hands, stand up, and jump with your arms above your head. The rhythm should be fluid, not rushed. You will know you are doing it right when each repetition feels like one single movement, not 4 separate ones. For beginners or those returning after time off, start with the version without the final jump. Simply stand up without jumping. Do 3 sets of 5 repetitions with this version and progress to 3 sets of 8 repetitions over 4 weeks before adding the jump. The most common mistakes are letting the hips sag in the push-up position, jumping the feet too far from the hands on the way back, and performing the final jump without full body extension. Another mistake I see many people make is trying to go fast before mastering form. Speed without technique only accelerates the path to injury. Contraindications. People with serious knee problems, such as advanced osteoarthritis, should replace the burpee with the no-jump version or with another lower-impact conditioning exercise. Those with uncontrolled high blood pressure should also be cautious with high-intensity exercises and seek medical clearance. Exercise number 4, mountain climber. The military uses this exercise because it is essentially a plank in motion. And motion is where the core is truly tested. In the push-up position, you alternate bringing your knees toward your chest in a rhythmic way, as if you were running in place on your hands. The result is a simultaneous workout for the core, shoulders, and cardiovascular system, with no impact on the knee and ankle joints. For men who can no longer run without knee pain, the mountain climber offers real cardiorespiratory stimulus with the body supported. The primary muscles worked are the core in its full extent, including the rectus abdominis, the obliques, and the transverse abdominis, the deltoids and scapular stabilizers that support the body's weight, and the hip flexors that drive the leg movement. To perform it correctly, start in the push-up position with your arms fully extended, your wrists below your shoulders, and your body forming a straight line from head to heels. Keep your hips level without letting them rise or drop. Then, alternate bringing each knee toward your chest in a controlled manner without rotating your hips to the sides. Speed can increase as you gain mastery of the movement, but the position of the hips must always remain stable. Do 3 sets of 20 alternating repetitions, which equals 10 repetitions per side. Progress to 30 alternating repetitions as your conditioning improves. Rest between sets should be 45 to 60 seconds. The main mistakes to avoid are letting the hips rise toward the ceiling, which eliminates the core work, and letting the shoulders move forward past the wrists, overloading them. Another common mistake is breathing in a rushed and uncoordinated way. Try to maintain a rhythmic breath throughout the exercise. Contraindications. People with shoulder impingement syndrome or wrist tendinitis should be careful with exercises that require prolonged hand support. A possible modification is to perform the movement with your hands elevated on a bench or raised surface to reduce the load on the wrists and shoulders. Exercise number 3, suitcase carry. The difference between this exercise and the farmer's carry lies in a single detail that changes everything. You carry only one weight on one side of the body. This forces the core to work intensely to resist the lateral imbalance, training exactly the muscles that prevent your spine from buckling when you carry a heavy suitcase, a water jug, or a grocery bag larger than planned. Life rarely distributes weight equally on both sides. The Navy SEALs understand this very well. The most demanded muscles are the obliques and the quadratus lumborum on the side opposite the weight, which must work isometrically to keep the torso upright, along with the shoulder stabilizers on the carrying side and the glutes, which support hip stability during the walk. To perform it correctly, hold a dumbbell or kettlebell in only one hand, with your arm extended at your side. Stand completely tall with your shoulders level and your core braced. Then walk in a slow and controlled manner. The goal is that no one observing you would notice you are carrying weight on only one side. If you lean laterally toward the weight, the exercise has missed the point. Do 3 sets of 20 to 30 seconds per side, with 45 seconds of rest between sides. Alternate sides within each set. The most common mistakes are allowing the torso to tilt laterally toward the weight, letting the shoulder on the loaded side rise, and not engaging the core, which leaves the spine vulnerable. Contraindications. Those with severe scoliosis should be careful with unilateral exercises without professional supervision. People with acute lower back pain should also wait for the condition to resolve before starting this movement. Exercise number 2, bear crawl. This is the exercise that surprises adults the most when they try it for the first time. On the surface, it looks like something children do in physical education class. In practice, it powerfully reconnects the shoulders, core, and hips, forcing the nervous system to coordinate the body as a functional unit. And one of the greatest advantages it offers for men over 60 is the correction of hunched posture, the kind that ages your appearance and progressively compresses the spine over the years. The primary muscles worked include the deltoids and scapular stabilizers, the full core, the glutes, and the hamstrings. But the key differentiator is the stimulus to proprioception, which is the body's sense of its position in space, something that deteriorates with age and is directly linked to fall prevention. To perform it correctly, get on all fours with your hands below your shoulders and your knees below your hips. Then lift your knees slightly off the ground, about 1 to 2 inches, keeping your back parallel to the ground. Now advance with your right hand and your left foot at the same time, then with your left hand and your right foot. The steps should be small and controlled. The hips should not sway from side to side. Start with 3 sets of 10 total steps. Progress to 3 sets of 20 steps as coordination improves. The main mistakes to avoid are letting your knees touch the ground during the movement swaying the hips from side to side and advancing with the hand and foot on the same side, which indicates a lack of contralateral coordination and should be corrected before increasing speed. Contraindications: people with wrist or knee problems may have difficulty with floor support. A possible adaptation is to use gym gloves to cushion the pressure on the wrists. Anyone with acute pain in any of these joints should avoid the exercise until the condition resolves. Exercise number 1, dead hang. The military uses this exercise as a foundation before any bar work, and it is more powerful than it appears at first glance. The dead hang consists simply of hanging from a bar with your arms completely extended, doing nothing but holding on. It seems passive, but what happens in your body during those seconds is significant. The spine, which spends the entire day being compressed by gravity and poor posture, finally decompresses. The shoulders, which spend hours rounded in front of the body, open up and regain range of motion. Regular practitioners of the dead hang report considerable reduction in shoulder tension and relief from chronic lower back pain within just a few weeks of consistent practice. The muscles strengthened both actively and passively include the grip and forearms, the scapular stabilizer muscles, the rotator cuff, and the core, which needs to activate slightly to prevent the body from swaying. It is a rare exercise. It strengthens and relieves at the same time. To perform it correctly, grip a bar with both hands at shoulder width with an overhand grip, meaning your palms facing forward. Let your body hang completely without bending your elbows. Breathe in a slow and deep manner. Feel the spine lengthen. Keep your shoulders slightly activated, as if you were trying to pull them away from your ears. Do not let your shoulders simply rise passively toward the bar, which would overload the joint incorrectly. Start with 3 sets of 15 to 20 seconds, with 60 seconds of rest between them. Gradually progress to 45 to 60 seconds per set over a few weeks. If you do not have a bar available, a sturdy adapted door frame structure or even the top of a resistant ladder will do the job. The main mistakes are holding your breath, leaving the shoulders completely passive without any activation, and stepping down abruptly when finished. Always dismount in a controlled manner. Another mistake I see many people make is using a bar so high that the body is completely suspended without any ground support. For beginners, it is possible to keep your feet lightly touching the ground while the weight is partially supported, reducing the load until grip strength develops. Contraindications: people with a recent shoulder dislocation, severe impingement syndrome, or acute rotator cuff tendonitis should avoid this exercise until the condition is under control. Those with circulation problems in the hands, such as Raynaud's syndrome, should monitor their hand response during the movement. And if you enjoy balancing things out and would like to also see 6 isometric postures used by the Japanese to heal years of neglect on the body, we have a video appearing right now on the screen showing each one of them in detail. Make sure to check it out. Thank you for watching all the way to the end, and God bless you, my friend.